Hello, my name is Chi, and today's video is the first of many exclusive YouTube videos I plan on doing with The Sims 4. I normally stream on Twitch live, but wanted to create a space for my builds and remodels of all the base game homes. If you're interested in my other content, you can find the links to my socials down below. In this video, I am remodeling the Crick Cabana starter home in Willow Creek. I plan on uploading a new home every Friday, so please feel free to subscribe to see my next work of art. Let's get started. So we're gonna do a quick scan of the house just to have a before and after. So this is the before. And my idea for building this house is, right now the point of view is currently over the water, but there you go, you can kind of see it. I was thinking this could be a cute little like river house, so it's gonna have some like blues, some like water details, lots of plants, and then I figured it's a cute little house, but it's 2 bedrooms. So my idea for this was to do like your grandparents' house, and they have like a little guest room for, you know, company or like grandchildren, a grandchild. So that was kind of the idea. So as you can see in the the base model game, they included lots of blues, lots of greens. This is a starter home, so this is like the starter, items. I definitely made this way more expensive than a starter home, but just don't think about it too much. This part is so satisfying. Love that. I love that so much. So I figured at first, I was like, I'm gonna keep the outside details the same, but you guys will come to see that is not true at all. So I also believe in this game. Some people are like, I don't want to have wallpaper on the outside. They like to keep it pretty realistic, but I think of it as my Sims don't know the difference, and good thing there's no such thing as mold in The Sims. So if it's not an outside product, or if it's meant to be an indoor product, I still bring it outside sometimes. So sometimes I use wallpaper outside, sometimes I use, tile. I don't always use the specific outdoor wallpaper. I also love big windows. You guys will come to see that I love big windows so much. I also love the screen doors that are not screen doors, but like glass doors that have a lot of light that comes in. I just think it looks so much better, especially with like a river house like this. The idea was that I wanted it to be very bright, very like natural. One of my favorite parts is doing the outside. The spray sounds on fast forward are so funny to me. The perfectionist in me, don't worry, is going to fix. Yep, there we go. I was gonna say, I know I come in and fix this. I really like this white tile too. Makes it like the outside of the house kind of pop. It's the little things, Oh, until you do that. Honestly, I think plants and bushes and trees on the outside bring so much depth to a build. And if you guys don't know about the brackets being able to make certain, bushes and flowers smaller and bigger, I use it all the time, especially on the outdoor stuff. And then I thought that this would be super cute, but I couldn't really get it to fit in the space. So I ended up not going with it, but I really wanted to. You can tell I'm deciding a lot on what to do with this outside part. love that little chair. Also, using inside plants on the outside is beautiful. It's one of my favorite things to do is like take the indoor plants, like the decorative ones, and bring them outside. Also, I need to tell the Sims community, we need more medium-sized trees. I feel like all the trees are either too small or they're just too big. Except for the palm trees. The palm trees are always the perfect size, but if I just want like a medium-sized tree, I can't find one, you know? Another really big thing too is fencing. I feel like fencing really adds to any home. And then of course the glass to fit the glass door. BB.move objects is the best cheat in this game. In case you guys are wondering how I'm layering so many things together. Also, we need more mailboxes. I guess that is a medium-sized tree. I guess I spoke too soon. I might consider that a small tree. I really originally liked that light post, the like modern looking one, but it just didn't fit the neighborhood, I feel like. You also like have to think about the neighborhood, you know? Also, I loved these lanterns for the outside. I feel like I needed something for the walls just to like add a little bit of like oomph to it, if that's the right word, or the right sound, I should say. I love all the options for like outside plants on the walls, all the plant decorations. Never forget about the small details. Sometimes a build comes together just because you have these little small details and they just add up and they just make the space look so nice. So I figured every house with a porch has a chair on it. And then I really struggled, you'll see, I really struggled with what fencing to make the porch, because all of the options that I really liked just didn't fit, or they were too small, they were too big. So you'll see I go through the options quite a bit. I literally tested out, I think, every single one until I decided on this one. Changing the stairs too adds so much to a build. See, and as you can see, I didn't change the outside walls at all. I didn't make the house bigger. I didn't make it smaller. I did want to leave the house as base as I could. I think I only changed one wall on the inside. I just make one of the rooms a tiny bit bigger. So that way, if you guys are building these homes, you're not having to, build almost at all as far as walls and like flooring goes and all that. I also really wanted to make this chair work too, but I think that I couldn't do it. Maybe I did do it. I made it work. That's what I'm talking about. So here is the outside of this beautiful home. I love the way it turned out. Very modern, very planty. I feel like it's very river vibes. I just realized I did not do the back of the house, so I will have to go in and fix that. I am so sorry. But look at her. Amazing. And this is using no mods because I updated my game recently and I had no mods. So this is completely mod free. So as you can see, I just took the bathroom and made it a little bit smaller and moved that one wall inside. So that way the master could just be a tiny bit bigger. The bathroom's a tiny bit smaller. And it worked out perfectly because it also gave me just a little bit of more living room space. I always like to start with the kitchen. I don't know why I always feel like in every house it's like the focal point. I feel like where the kitchen is, it just has the rest of the house like flowing perfectly. So I always work on the kitchen first. I know some people like start with the bedroom or they start with the living room. For me, you guys will see I always start with the kitchen. I also love that plant. The plant on top of the fridge right now is probably one of my favorites because it looks like actually one of my propagated plants in real life. And then I actually just recently learned if you take the same light and you use the same bracket keys to make them bigger and smaller, you can make a space look very, very cute with the lights. Also, I tried very hard to make this kitchen have a island, but the kitchen I think is just too small and it wasn't working. So no island in this kitchen, but I think I'd do something a little bit better. Always just gotta test out all the options, you know? You never know what you like until you see something else and you're like, I definitely like that more. So I know going into this, I wanted 3 chairs because like I said in the beginning, I feel like this is a very like grandparents' home, like that was the kind of idea, but I wanted 3 because, you know, I figured they could have a guest over or they have, you know, a grandchild over spending the night. So I knew going into this, I wanted 3 chairs and it was just a matter of achieving that. So I ended up finding a compromise that worked because this house does not have space for a like traditional dining room. And then from the kitchen, it kind of flows into the next room. So the next room is going to be the living room / kind of family room. And then, you know, they had to have a little espresso machine, little coffee pods, little mugs. All the extra details. Now, I'm fair warning you guys, I struggled big time with this plant before I realized what I had to do, but I didn't like the way that the espresso machine looked from the back, like right there by the front door. So I knew I wanted to put this plant there, but I had to kind of like glitch it a little bit to get it to float and then like sit behind the counter. And if you guys are unaware, you can press your 9 key to make objects like go up in the air more, and then you can also do 0 to make them come back down. So that's what I had to do. And then when Hayden was editing this video, he was giggling because he didn't know that you could add stuff to the top of these cabinets. And I don't know how I learned that either, because I don't think I would have ever thought of this. But I just started doing it, and I can't stop doing it now because it just makes the room look so much better. I really wanted that tea set up there, but same thing, it kind of started like trying to glitch itself into the cabinets below, like it wanted to automatically adjust itself, so I was not able to do that. But then I ended up finding something else that I think worked a little bit better. Was the 2 identical vases. And so that was the kitchen, and now we kind of flow into the living room / family room. So the struggle was at first, am I going to be able to fit a TV? I really wanted to put a TV, and then I thought, you know what, this is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to fit a TV in here like comfortably. So then I was like, okay, how can I make this room a little bit more functional? How can I make it look cute? What can I add to, every almost living room has a TV in it. So it's like, you know what, I got to find a compromise, and I feel like I did really good. I like the way it turned out. Finding that perfect rug is very important to every build. Here we go, trying to make the TV work again. You can see I kind of find stuff that I'm like, oh wait, this would fit really good in this room. So I might, during this video, go back and forth to another room. Just if I find like a painting or an object and I'm like, wait, that would fit really good in the kitchen, I will go back to the kitchen and just add it really quick. I'm actually very proud of how this gallery wall turned out. I feel like every, old person's home has like a little gallery that they really, really like, and it's always like so cute. And I was like, I need to recreate that. But getting the images just right is where it's at. I tried really hard to get this plant to work, but that was another thing where I was like, okay, I'm ruining the gallery wall just to add a plant. Like, let me stop. Here I am trying to go back into the little kitchen area because I'm like, wait, I forgot to decorate a wall. Ooh, I just noticed those string lights that I clicked on. I need to add that to another build. I really like those string lights. And then another thing that Hayden said that I thought was really funny, he's like, wait, if this is for old people, how are they going to reach their pots in their pans? And I was like, I don't know, okay? They need a step stool. Because those pots are very high up there. Same thing with the desk. I said, okay, if I can't have a TV, I really want to have a desk, but I once again could not get the desk to work either. And then I found this little clutter box. It has like knitting stuff, crocheting stuff, and I was like, I need that because every grandparent has a box like that in their home. So I was like, I'm gonna put this like right here in the kitchen. It's like, off to the living room side a little bit because it was just like perfect. And then the vent, I'm laughing at the vent because I feel like every old person's home, especially like a house on stilts like this, always has a vent on the floor and it's always cold. And if they have a dog, I feel like the dog is always laying on the vent. So when I found that, I was like, I have to add this somewhere. So I did. Then the idea for the bathroom, I really wanted to have like two sinks that were like next to each other. What is that called? Like a duo sink. I know there's like a specific word for it that I can't think of right this second, but I wanted to have like two sinks right next to each other, and I couldn't get that to work either because I thought, where am I gonna put the toilet? I guess I could have put the toilet next to the shower, but I ended up going with this instead, which is still good because it's still beautiful. And then every room and every single build I ever have always has to have at least one plant. I will probably never have a single Sims build without every single room having one plant in it. And shower is done. Onto the master. I really struggled with what bed to pick. I think I needed to decide what I wanted the theme to be first. So that's why I kind of go towards I find a picture first before I decide what bed to pick. Because I was like, okay, what do I want this theme to be in this room? I really wanted it to be, kind of oldsy, kind of, you know, modern. You have the beautiful windows right here that lead right out to the river. So I was like, okay, what can this room look like? I know it needs like a hint of yellow, it needs a hint of blue. So I think I nailed it. I think I nailed it. I love these little side tables. It fits the color of the comforter so well. That's also one of my favorite dressers in the game. That basket, I don't think I've ever used not on the floor before. I suddenly remembered in the middle of the build, I was like, wait, why don't I take this basket and put it like up on top of the dresser? And then I had a huge wall to work with, so I was very excited. I saw another streamer do this. I wish I could remember who it was, but I saw another streamer do this before, and I was like, I have to recreate this in a build that I do because it was so beautiful. So I did the 2 pictures with the shelves, and then you take, you know, items and shrink them down and kind of cheat them and put them like up on the shelves, and it creates like this beautiful wall with pictures and shelves. I've never been like a huge shelf person in The Sims until I saw them used like this, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna use that. And then of course you need a clock. Every old person's home has like a very annoying clock located somewhere in the house that goes off the like most random times of the day. So that was the master, and we are on to the guest room / the grandchildren's room. I wanted it to be a really big bed in case they have like guest over, like, you know, a couple, or if they wanted to have, you know, multiple grandchildren, they'll have to just share the bed. And then I wanted really, really bad to make a desk mat, like a mouse pad, but I couldn't get this rug to fit properly. So I do play around with this for a little bit, and then I ended up just not going with it because I struggled so hard. But if anybody has any tips for, you know, desk related things, I believe the Cozy Gamer probably has some items in there. But yeah, if you guys have any tips on how to make a desk, like little mat or a little desk pad, please let me know. You can comment down below because I need all the tips. I'm just not good at desk decor yet. Definitely not my specialty. I definitely struggle with like getting items to kind of fit properly. See, this is what I mean by sometimes I go back and I'm like, wait, I didn't put a light in the bathroom. Let me go add that really quick. And then I come back to this room. I really wanted to make this shelf work because it's one of my favorites in the game. Just like the hanging shelves with like the plants on it, I just think is so pretty. But alas, I ended up going with the baskets because it just fits this room so much better. I figured if you have grandchildren in that room with like a hanging shelf, that's just a recipe for disaster. Plus, how could you not want like a million plants? So final finishing touches here and there. Sometimes I find items and I'm like, ooh, I really want to make that work in a space somewhere. So I'll just kind of like look around. I'm like, okay, does something feel empty? Does something not feel right? And then I'll just add those in. And then I go in and figure out the wallpapers after I have settled on the decor and I kind of feel finished with the space. I'm like, okay, let me go in, edit the walls, edit the floors. because sometimes I find a wallpaper that I really like, but then I can't find a decor that kind of fits it, and so I'm like, okay, now I need to go back. But we did it. Here is our beautiful house. This is one of the base houses in The Sims converted into a beautiful, beautiful home. Here is our kitchen. I just imagine 3 people sit at that table at breakfast, reading the newspaper, talking about life, having to get their ladder out just to get to the pots. Front door entryway, living room / family room, the bathroom, the master bedroom. This is probably my favorite in the house, is this master. The wallpaper just like fits the theme so well. Also love that fan. It also fits in here very well. And then we have our guest room with the computer that you know our grandparents will play solitaire at. We love her. And there you have it, our beautiful base home, all decorated. I moved one wall in the house just to make the master bigger, but otherwise they shall remain the same. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you next Friday for the next Sims build.